Yeah, so we're gonna watch Terrell do his speech. Alright, Terrell.
Okay, although performance-enhancing drugs can be very dangerous to the users and are banned in many sports already, but even in the sports, there are and still people still using them. Is it really worth being caught over? Performance-enhancing drugs should be banned in all sports. Why, may you ask? It is because it seeks an unfair advantage. A quote from Richard Pound, a former president of the World Anti-Doping Agency, says, "Remember, athletes do not take these drugs to level the playing field. They take it to gain the advantage." So, should it be fair for a player to naturally just come into a game without it being based on their actual skill or their physical attributes that make them who they are? It's just as though you're taking a test and you studied well for it, but at the same time, when you come into the class, you have an answer key to cheat. Does it make any sense? But at the same time, someone could just say, why don't we just allow all players in all sports to just be able to just use any performance-enhancing drug? The immediate answer to that question is no. Why? It's because, one, it doesn't show a proper example for the youth as far as younger players growing up. We see these athletes taking steroids, and it's like, it's okay for us. Not only that, it doesn't show that it doesn't show how good of role models that they should be for the young generation. When a pro athlete admits to using steroids, the message the young hear is not always one intended. Young athletes believe that steroids used by their role models gives them permission to use them. A quote from a testimony for the hearing by Greg Schwab. Number two, it also hurts the sports fans because even though skill and effort still play a key role in all sports, the performance-enhancing drugs will play just as much of a role in that particular sport. A quote from Nicholas J. Dixon, a PhD professor of philosophy at Alma College, says, "Performance-enhancing drugs reduce the role of skill, and it is replaced by chemically enhanced induced brute strength and endurance." Mark McGwire, one of baseball's greater players at the time before he was found of using steroids, he was having one of the best seasons of his career in 1998, which is the season that he was found out for having used, which he had admitted for using steroids in. At that time, you could even say that not only maybe even top 20, actually maybe even a top 20 for the season he had, breaking the single season record for hitting home runs, which was 70. During a 20-minute telephone interview in 2010, he admitted to steroid use, and he claims that he could have done just as well without them, according to ESPN.com. But my question is, why even bother to take performance-enhancing drugs if you could just do as well without them? And now he'll most likely never get to the Hall of Fame. As a Hawaiian man from a childhood show of mine once said, "Don't do the crime if you can't pay the time." And finally, we shouldn't allow performance-enhancing drugs because it is a major health risk. There are so many health risks for performance-enhancing drugs that it actually kind of confuses me to understand why these players want to take these things to harm themselves. The only logical reason that I could come from with that is that, you know, players, they want the glory over their long-term health because they want the money or the fame. But the health risks of performance-enhancing drugs are, in men, they may develop prominent breasts and baldness. Women may develop a deeper voice, increased body hair, and also baldness. As a whole, between both men and women, they may experience increased risk of tendinitis and tendon rupture, liver abnormalities and tumors, hypertension, heart and circulatory problems, aggressive behavior such as rage and violence, psychiatric disorders such as depression, and also drug dependence. Performance-enhancing drugs are very dangerous, should be banned in all sports because of its health risks, its disrespect to the game, and its influence on the younger athletes. And not only that, it's just because it's just not fair to the players. And now, finally, I just want to leave you all with a question. I want you all to go home now and think about, what if you found your favorite player or just a sports athlete that you looked up to or admired? How would you feel if you found out they were taking performance-enhancing drugs? Not only that, how would you feel about the sport itself? And thank you. That was it.